All right.
Hello, everyone.
Don't mind us. We're just eating breakfast.
Back to the new podcast. We were literally just eating breakfast and talking about something. We were like, hold on. This is a whole podcast. So let's talk about it. So we were talking about this thing that I watched this morning about it was Michelle Obama's interview like in 2020 with Oprah.
Yeah.
Vision, like 2020 Vision. I don't remember what it was called. But they asked her what is one of the key things she teaches her daughters.
Yeah.
To do in their life, and she talked about walking your own walk. So this idea that she goes on this retreat every year to do this walk, and what she realizes is that when she looks around, everyone walks differently.
Yeah.
Some people walk really fast, some people are really good at like hiking up mountains, some people are really good in flat areas. Everyone is different. But the fact is, when you try to do someone else's walk, it is tiring or it can injure you.
Just like when I tried to, when you say, "Oh, Sarah, why are you walking so slow?" I'm like, girl,
the thing is, I know
can't walk your walk.
The thing is, I know this because even scientifically, because I'm taking this what's it called animal physiology class, and we're being taught that walking at your own rhythm, whether it's slow or fast, actually takes less energy than walking at someone else's rhythm. So, for example, for me to slow down how I walk tires me out more than walking at my regular speed, which is fast for most people. So even biologically, it's just the truth. Everyone has a different rhythm.
Thank you.
Actually, we even noticed this one time when we were watching a dance video, and I'm like, they're all doing the same choreo, but it looks different. Yeah. Because everyone has the same rhythm. Like, they're hitting the beat at the same time, but something about the rhythm of it,
how they get there is different. Yeah.
And that's just a reality of people. So she was talking about walking her own walk and telling her children to, when they make their life decisions, to not think of what her or Obama have achieved, or to not think of what people expect of them, to just walk their own walk. And she brought it back to health and physical health. And we've heard these crazy things about Michelle Obama being a man, or why her shoulders so broad, or her arms.
She's an alien, she's a reptile.
Those people are just unhealthy. Like, there's something wrong in their minds.
They're racist.
Yeah, it's not just racism. It's also some of it is crazy. Like, I feel like it gets to a certain point where it's a mental illness.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with you.
Even in the, what's it called, like the black consciousness community, you hear some black men talking about, yeah, she's a man. And you're like, huh? You, as a black man.
That's what we're talking about, healthy. Let's get there. I'm sorry, guys, we're eating. When you hear the pauses, we're, like, eating. Anyways, so we're talking about, like, she talked about how, so when she was doing the competition, a lot of comments were being made about her body.
Yep.
And the thing is, she had to learn what healthy meant for her. All that and walking your own walk. What does healthy mean for you? And what healthy meant for you at 30, for her, we're talking about like we know something. Like we're like, we're a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old. We're like, what healthy means to you when you're 30? But anyways, what healthy meant for her when she was 30 is different with what healthy means for her now at 56.
Exactly.
Because her body cannot do the same things, and that's okay. And she's like, it's like trying to fit into your clothes when you were 10 years old, now that you're 20. It doesn't make sense. Your body changes. And the fact is, with women, we were talking about this yesterday, how our hormones
change every single
day. Our body is different every time we wake up.
Yep. There's a reason why it's a cycle. And it's not whatever. You don't just have your periods. It's a cycle. So whether that's 28 days or 35 or even 46.
And everyone's cycle is different.
Every day, your body changes. And you will know. Feel your breast. Your breast is a really good indicator of how your body is changing.
You're bloated. Your body shape changes. And it's crazy. Like, men cannot understand this because their body stays the same for most of their life. But for us, it's not even a yearly thing. Every day I wake up, my body's at a different stage. So even expecting us to fit a certain beauty standard is crazy. Because every day I wake up, my body's not the same. It doesn't matter how healthy I eat or how much I go to the gym. My body will do whatever the hell it wants to do. It's a skincare. I saw this man who was like, I will do all the skincare on my skin. And then my periods will come and pimples all over. It don't matter what I was doing. Hormones are like, hello.
Yeah.
How you
remember that girl? I'm pretty sure you saw the picture on Instagram. Like she has like a lot of pimples and like a really bad breakout, like all over. But she embraces it because that's just who I am. For her, I read it was because she got off birth control. She missed a day or two, and she got the worst breakout ever. But she's like, well,
that's my body.
That's my body.
That's what
my face.
This is what healthy means for me. So it's this idea of healthy, and people will see someone who. That's what we're talking about. Your BMI. That's what we're talking about when we were like, let's make this in the podcast.
So I always tell people, because when people tell me that what health looks like, what health supposed to look like, how it's supposed to look, skinny, fit, all that stuff, I always tell them, like, you see me. For the people who know me and who've seen my body, who've seen how I look like, they'll be like, yeah, you're just thick, you're fine, you're regular.
Especially to black people, like my mom, like when I told my mom, she used to think she was too big and she didn't like her shape. My mom was like, she has a beautiful shaped body, you're skinny ass over here. I'm like, gain some weight. What the fuck do you mean?
So yeah, I was like, you see me, you don't think anything, right? I'm like, I used to obsess about this so much because I thought it was so unhealthy. But my BMI, if you were to put in my height, my weight right now, I am considered morbidly obese.
Yeah.
And every time I tell them that, especially the guys, every time I tell them that, they look at me like,
wait,
you're joking, right? I'm like, no.
But what they don't. Obese. But that's the thing, because I have also a friend who she has the same body shape as you, but she's taller. So the thing tells me that she's overweight and going into obese.
Yep.
But the fact is, I know she's very healthy. She goes to the gym more often than I do.
Yep.
And I don't look big, but I'm not healthier than her. And what she doesn't understand is that the BMI and whatever these measurements were that were not made for black women.
Nope, not even close.
They were not made for black women. Just the way we look, the moment our hormones kick in, for some of us, how our body changes and we get bigger hips and a bigger body in general, is not white women's body.
Nope.
And that is healthy for us.
Women, it's not Asian women, it's not Indian women, it's not no
one was mother. That's just how our body is. And those systems were not made,
they were made in like the 40s or the 50s.
And they're still being used, and they're not taking into account the fact that not all women.
Fact, they were using poor people. They paid poor men and women to take these measurements.
This is crazy.
Just like you have with clothing as well. They use poor women and poor men to take measurements because they need standard measurements for the war. So they use poor people because, like, well, that's the people you can get our hands on. And sometimes poor people are not
skinny. There are people who, even if they didn't eat for a really long time, their body shape would stay the same. It's just who they are. I've known people. The thing is, for me as a black woman who's lived in Africa, I've seen women who've never been skinny a day in their life, and it had nothing to do with how they were eating or how much sports they were doing. It's just how their body are. Like, and I gave her the example. I was like, Serena Williams. I want to say but I know some people are gonna come for me. No, but she is clearly one of the best athletes of our time.
Yep.
Is she skinny?
Nope.
Man has a badunk. Kadunk.
She has badunk, and badunk.
So
all four.
But you look at it, and she's an athlete. She's healthier than all of us.
Even at my best, when I was playing sports a lot, I would play soccer, I would play basketball, I would play volleyball, I was into track and field. Even that, I was not skinny. Even when I took gym in high school, I was not skinny. I was still big.
And that's what people don't understand, is that healthy means different things for everyone. So you cannot measure your healthy to someone else.
And please do not use the BMI.
Especially if you're black women, just don't. Don't. It was not made for you.
Doctors, like, every time I would go to the clinic and they know how to take their blood pressure and all this stuff, they were a little bit shocked that, like, I don't have high blood pressure. I'm like, because I relatively eat healthy. Look at me, I'm eating yogurt, I ate some bread, some egg, and apples.
Yeah.
That's what I'm eating for breakfast.
You worry more about your health than I do. And if someone looked at us and they didn't know, they'd just be like, oh, she's probably healthy. And it's like, no, I'm not. It's just how my body is, but I'm not. So yeah, people need to understand healthy is different from every person. And it comes out to walking your own walk, and also understanding that this fear that women have. The thing is, for me, I come from a different background. Because one time I was called, I don't know if you know this group on Instagram, like World Vision. No, not World Vision. It was women empowerment. Yeah. But it's this thing where they go around campus and they ask them to sit down and talk about something they don't like about themselves.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that, yeah.
So they called me in and they asked me to talk about something I don't like about myself. And I sat down and I was trying to write something, but I couldn't think of anything. And it's not arrogance. Wait, let me... Ma'am, don't tell me why we're trying to do this. It was not arrogance. It was mostly me just knowing there are things that are not perfect about me, but I don't hate them.
But that's okay.
That's just who I am. Because I don't compare myself to someone else. It's not like, well, there's this thing, but like this other person has it right. But it's like, that's their body. So mine is like this, and that's how it works, and I am fine with that. There are things that they're not perfect. I don't have a perfect body, but I am fine with all the imperfections. Ma'am, can you stop?
Who is it?
It's a friend, but I'll call her later and explain to her why I couldn't answer. But so yeah, so that was the issue. So the thing is, in my country, we don't get compared. And that's what I realized, because you know how a lot of fears and a lot of things that we feel wrong about us were taught, they're learned. In my country, they rarely ever compare. Like, they don't go look at this person and their body how it is. Why shouldn't you be like this? There's not a beauty standard. Like, you'll go into certain family and they'll be like, yeah, gain some weight, you're being skinny. But another one, it's like, oh yeah, you look great being skinny like that. Other people will be like, yeah, it's better if you're average. Some other people will be like, it's better if you're bigger. So there is a market for everybody. We are actually, even here, they just started having plus size models. We always had plus size models, and they weren't called plus size models. They were just models. Because we knew that we had many types.
The average size is 14.
Yeah. For
That's
women.
average size. So what are you telling me? How is someone who's size 14 a plus size model?
And you know, even when what your BMI looks like on you is very different. I've seen people who have the same BMI as me, so like 19 something, but physically we look very different. So even that, because you know how they're saying that even when you write it down, it's not very accurate because you have to measure your bones. For me, for example, I told you this. You see, I've sat on you. Don't take this wrong.
Not in that way.
But like, sometimes I help her with stuff and I'm not standing, so I'm just like, ma'am, I'm sitting on you. But the point is, I'm not that heavy. I'm sharp, but I'm not that
very pointy for some weird reason. I don't know where you had these sharp
bones
from. Did you sharpen them?
I don't know.
Jeez,
my bones are very sharp.
You and my sister have that. I'm like, don't put your head in. Don't do anything because you're just sharp. Something's gonna dig into me. I'm
very sharp, but I'm very light. It doesn't matter what weight I am. I've had people my own weight lift me up like it was nothing. Why? Because I have light bones. My mom and my brother have very heavy bones. My brother once put his foot on me, and I was like, ew.
I can't take this off.
Take this off. Because he has heavy bones. Like, he has heavy set bones. So, and from each person, it's different. Even right now, everyone thinks he's like overweight. But I've realized something about him is that certain parts of his body, it is fat. But then if you look at his arms or his legs, it's muscle. Like, it's hard. And it's just how his body is set up. If he was taking a BMI, he'd be morbidly obese too. But he's a black man. That scale was not made for him. So all that to say that I know it's hard. We all work at it every day. But we need to start learning, as Michelle says, you know, our always and forever first lady. Not she's not concerned. The only reason why I even acknowledge being American is because of that woman. Is that every time you catch yourself comparing, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's your health physically, your studies, like when university, like, because I've caught myself doing that, seeing people who have 10 out of 10 GPAs and being like, am I stupid?
I know I'm not stupid. I know I'm just a little bit
no, but for me, it wasn't me asking if I'm stupid. The stupid is not even the right word. It was mostly, am I doing something wrong? For me, it was more of we have the same 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? We relatively are in the same conditions. Because my mom always raised me with, when I didn't have great grades, she was like, what do they have that you don't have? So that was always her mantra to me. What do they have that you don't have that will justify you not being able to have such a great results? Which I understand why she was doing that, and it did push me for a long time in my life. But there's a point where that does not apply. Because for me, because of that, I was thinking, we have the same 24 hours. We have the same hours in a week. What am I doing wrong that's making these people be able to get a 10 out of 10 GPA and do all these extracurriculars, and I'm struggling to stay at an 8 and go into a 9? So it was at a certain point actually like worried me, and then I had to figure out that, you know what? And I've preached this to people. For some people, it takes 2 hours to learn something, where someone else, it might take you 4 hours. And so even though you have the same 24 hours a day, you don't really have the same 10 hours a day, because the speed at which you walk in
is different.
It's different.
You see?
And that needs to be acknowledged.
Teachers, take note. I don't know if a teacher's gonna listen to this, but take fucking note. If you assign 3 hours of homework, that 3 hours is a whole range. Some people, it might take them an hour. Some people, it's going to take them 6 hours or 12 hours to do it.
And it might change from one subject to another. Give me a math homework, I will do it in no time, no problem. My brain will barely feel tired. I see you looking at me like I cannot relate.
Jesus.
But then ask me to write an essay. The fact that you wrote this whole essay in like 2 days and you were able to sit down and be like, this is not going to finish until 2 a.m. I'm like, I cannot relate. I write one paragraph, I need a week's rest. Like, writing takes a lot out of me.
I know, because like I like writing, and I realized that your first draft, because you used to be so obsessed with just making that first draft so good. I'm like, nah. You just gotta sit down and write it.
Well, actually, when I started becoming better at writing when I started doing that. When I started to just write what I felt, because this is the funny thing. I'm a good storyteller. I'm good at writing stories, and I'm a good speaker.
Yeah.
But when it comes to writing something like an essay where I need to put my ideas out and something I'm passionate about, sometimes I have so much to say that it takes me a lot of time to sit down and that's actually, you know what? It's actually an English teacher, first year university, who told me this. She was like, you're not bad at writing essays. Your ideas are so big that when you're limited, so when you're told you have 6 pages, you are spending so much time to see how shrink that that you don't write and you're stuck. But you're talking to me and I see that you have all these ideas. So she's like, next time, that's what I told you. She was like, next time you know that you have 6 pages, write everything. Even if it takes 12 pages, do that. And then edit it into being small. But don't let it even stunt you from even starting to write. But again, everyone is different. Every time you catch yourself comparing yourself to someone else for anything, as we said, whether it's your grades, where you're in life. I have friends right now who are struggling with trying to find a new program. And they're like, well, I'm going to be late. And I'm like, but that doesn't matter as long as you get to where you're supposed to get. And it's easier said than done.
Because parents can be a little bit,
Yes, they can try to rush you. But always take the time to listen to yourself. Figure out your pace. And go at it. And you know what? Everything will be alright.
And if it doesn't, then don't complain us, please.
It'll be alright. What is all this pessimism
I'm just saying,
in the morning?
It's just a forewarning, like a legal thing, you know? As things don't happen, don't come say like, these girls don't
No,
do that.
I really truly believe that if you go at your own pace and you listen to yourself, everything will be alright.
Go at your own pace, but also there's a line that people need to realize. Go at your own pace, but don't overshoot yourself or underestimate yourself as well. There's people struggle with that because sometimes you're going at your own pace, but you're going a little bit slower.
That's not going at your own pace.
No, they're kind of like, oh, I feel like it will take me 4 hours to do this, so I'm gonna take 4 hours for every other class, and that's not. Smart.
But that's not going at your own pace. Going at your own pace is first of all figuring out your pace. So that starts with how I figure out my pace. Because I used to schedule my days from 8 to this time. This is what I'm gonna do, and then I realized that doesn't work because sometimes you sit down and you're doing something and you're not done. Can my friends? And then you realize that you can't do it because you don't have time. So what I'm saying, it starts with figuring out your own pace. If this is math. Tell yourself, I am going to do this chapter, no time limit, and see how much time it takes you. Over a week, 2 weeks, a month, you will know what your pace is at math. And that's going to follow you your whole life. If it's writing, figure out what your pace is over a month. And then you will know what it is, and it's going to help you for your whole life. So when people say they're slower, they're faster, that's because you haven't figured out your pace yet. You're still figuring it out. That's why you said 4 hours, but then it takes you 5, it takes you 3. You're still figuring out your pace. So figure out your pace and then go at it. If it's slower or you're overshooting yourself, that is not your pace.
So sometimes that could happen because you're thinking like, okay, this seems to be what I used to take for this and this and that, so it should be the same for that. But
that's again, you have to figure out your pace for different things. Anyways, that was all. This was some random. Again, we told you guys when we do podcasts, really things that we just talk about regardless. So we're just talking about it, and I'm like, this is a good podcast idea. So here we are. Have a great week, whenever we're posting this.
Stay inside, please.
Stay inside, guys. Bye-bye.